Thank you, Chairman Gibbs. I appreciate very much your holding this hearing, and I welcome our witnesses today and extend my appreciation for their participation. You know, the subject of this hearing is one of great interest to the Appalachian region, but it is of acute concern to the people in the district that I am honored to represent. This hearing is intended to delve into a matter that we in southern West Virginia have been struggling with for decades. The delicate balance between producing domestic energy while preserving our natural resources and the health and safety of our coalfield residents. In fact, I would wager to say that there is nowhere in this nation where our citizens know better the difficulty and the tensions entailed in trying to strike that balance than in the communities I represent. The people of southern West Virginia love the natural beauty of our land. We want clean water, clean air. We want our children and grandchildren to live and breathe and grow up in clean environments. But we want jobs as well. We want jobs for our children and grandchildren as well. We do not condone coal companies' failure to ensure the safety of their miners and the well-being of the communities in which they operate. That is simply wrong. But it is also wrong for a federal agency to circumvent the law and treat guidance as binding policy, particularly when that policy targets only one industry in only one region of the country. And I know you referred to that, Mr. Chairman, in your comments. As I've said before, the EPA has a legitimate role to play in the Clean Water Act permitting process. And early on in this administration, many had high hopes that the EPA would provide the clarity and the certainty that coal mining constituencies throughout Appalachia have been asking for, pleading for many years. Unfortunately, we have been disappointed as a result of the guidance that the EPA issued in April of last year. Guidance with far-reaching consequences that was made effective immediately without the opportunity for the public to comment. Through that guidance, the EPA is not only dictating the Army Corps of Engineers 404 permitting process, but it is also intervening in state-issued 402 discharge permits, bypassing existing law and long-standing regulation, and substituting a wholly new, barely studied, entirely confusing criterion for determining water quality, along with new timelines for review and approval of petitions. Instead of offering that clarity and certainty, the regime set forth in that guidance has thrown the entire permitting process throughout the region into utter turmoil. Nobody can say with any certainty what will gain a mine an approved permit and what will earn one a refusal. Worse still, nobody can now say what it will take to keep an existing permit because the agency has used criteria in that guidance to veto a permit that was granted years before the guidance document was ever written. As a result, coal miners in my district are consistently concerned about losing their jobs, and communities fear that they will not generate sufficient revenue to support schools, to keep the lights on, and to build basic infrastructure and provide basic services such as law enforcement. As well, the work to shore up the long-struggling economy of Appalachia and to ensure that our children and grandchildren can have a future there is further hindered because the entire region is being subjected to inequitable treatment under federal law in comparison to the rest of the country. It is, after all, the Federal Water Pollution Control Act. Unfortunately, the effect of all of this is that we are not finding common ground. Instead, the parties on all sides of the issue have dug their heels in even more deeply. So I appreciate today's hearing. I appreciate the testimony that we're going to hear, and which I've already reviewed. And the next week, I hope, is my fervent hope that we may help to inform this government and guide this nation in our long-running endeavor to reach that delicate balance between energy development and the protection of our natural resources. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.